You can use different strategy to try to outsmart or outwit your opponent, so that way your attack goes through and they don't defend it. So we're gonna get into it. Okay, so let's get into the game. Alright, so I'm gonna show you the basic game. The basic game of it itself is the way it's set up. Okay, so first thing is you have your deck of knights. Okay, these are all of your knights. Now with these are all different knights, and if you look at some of the names on here, they're actually kind of funny. Like you have this one, Yeti or Not, Here He Comes. You have the Dread Pirate Roberta. Now, if you everybody have watched the what was it, the Princess? Was it the Princess Bride? I think it was, where you had the Dread Pirate Roberts. But anyway, you have Maiden Fair. You have the Self-Rescuing Princess, and El Rey Real, and the $6 Million Black Knight, Emily the Strange, and a bunch of other ones. So they're pretty funny. One of them I think is Lance Bass or Lance Bass. So anyway, they all have the different effects. So if you look at the knights, you have the name of the knight, a little flavor text right there, the picture, and then down here you have their effect. Now their effects could be a strike effect, it could be an always effect, it might be a blocking effect, it all depends, but that's right there. And then there's the strength. So each one of the knights has has a certain number of health, which is 7 health. If they take 7 damage, then that knight is dead. That knight, well, I would say dead, but he's knocked off his horse, he's knocked out, and then he's no longer able to compete, so you get rid of him, and then it goes like that. So the way it's set up, that's the first part. You have your knights. The second thing, you have your court cards. So all of your court cards have different effects on them. Okay, during each turn you can either choose to draw a knight or draw a court card. So you would shuffle the deck. These are your court cards right here. You would shuffle them, and you would draw a card, and then you do the effect that it says on that card, and it goes right away. Okay, so those are your court cards. Now the next cards, these are your fans. So the fans, these cards are two-sided. One side says a 1x, the other side says 5x. Essentially what it is that when you get to, the first person to get to who has collected 12 fans, if you're playing a base game, wins. So if you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, if you, I just dropped a bunch of cards. That's not cool. If you got let's say 6 fans, then you could just flip one over. That'll be a 5, that'll be a 6, and the rest of the fans you can just kind of put them back. You still have your 6 fans, but it makes it so that way, especially if you're playing a game of like 5 people, then or 4 people, then if you start running the fans, then you just kind of consolidate like that. Okay, so these are your fans. They're labeled 1 and 5, or buy 1 times 5. And the last card that we're going to look at in the base game is your attack cards. Okay, so your attack cards, all players have the same attack cards. They're labeled 1 through 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. These cards in some way actually do correlate with the attack value or the strength value that your jousting knight has. Now here's the thing: if you use a card, one of your attack cards, where the number is higher than your knight's strength, then it's automatically blocked. Okay, so you want to make sure, like say this knight's strength has 3, you're going to use a card 1, 2, or 3. Otherwise, it's going to be automatically blocked. Okay. Now, yeah. Okay. So all players have these same cards. Okay. So these are the base cards for the base game. There are other things that's involved for this too, but I'm going to get into those later on. But the last other thing are your damage tokens. So your damage tokens, I'm going to put this real close so you can see it. There you go. They're double-sided. There's a 1 and then there's a 3. So that way, same thing you consolidate. If you do 6 damage, then you just do 2 3s instead of like 6 1s. So when your knight has received 7. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and shuffle up the court cards. And we're gonna put those right here in the center. Okay. Then we're gonna go ahead and shuffle the jousting knights. So to begin the game, each player will choose 3 cards at random. So I'm just do 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and 3. And the rest of them goes right here to our jousting knights. Of these, we're going to choose 2 cards to keep, and the other card we're going to discard. So I'm going to take this one. That's going to be my jouster. This one here is going to be my my one in my stable. Actually, I'm going to start that. Yeah, that's my stable one. And then on this side, I'm going to have to move these over here because it's a small table. Alright, on this side, we'll choose this right here for my jousting knight right here. And I'm going to put my stable this way. Now typically on a regular setup, you would actually put them where you have your jouster right here and then your stable right here. I'm doing it a little bit different here because I have a smaller table. So my stable is going to be more horizontal and my jouster is going to be more vertical. It makes it easy. It's easier to remember which one is which then, so it's not bad. Okay, I'm going to shuffle up the rest of these knights, and those are going to be our pickup deck. Okay. Okay. Then you're going to give each player the 5 combat cards. And I have my 5 combat cards right here. All players are going to go ahead and flip over their cards. And that way we show. So these are our jousting knights. These knights are in the stable. Now the player that goes first, we'll just say this is player A, player B. So I'm going to do player A is going to go first, player B is going to go next. So player A decides, do they want to draw a court card or do they want to draw a knight? And now what I'm going to do is just for help, I'm going to go ahead and draw a knight. So if I draw a knight, I'm going to add that knight to my stable. Now you can only have a maximum of 3 knights total that you control. You cannot draw any more. If you already have 3 knights, you can't do any more. If you have no knights, then you have to draw from the stable. You have to draw from the knight's deck. You can't draw and do anything else. Okay, so I have my Cowbogo. This is my attacker, or my knight. It has a strength of 4. And it says that the effect, while attacking, you may play 2 combat cards. If either is blocked, the entire attack is blocked. Otherwise, both combat cards deal damage. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose 2. Now what I'm going to do here, because I'm playing against myself, I'm going to go ahead and just randomly select 2 cards. So one of them actually could be bad. And then on the other side, I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing, randomly select just 1 card. Okay, because you're going to block with that 1 card, I'm going to attack my 2 cards. So then we flip them all over together. I have a 3 and a 2. He actually has a 2. Now because his 2 and my 2 match, then, and with his effect, if he blocks one attack, then the whole entire attack is blocked. So my thing is blocked, and the knight you control strikes. Okay, so his effect doesn't go into play. It is always effect, but he's not striking. So he blocked my attack. The cards go back to their players, and he picks up a fan card. Now he blocked with a 2, so which means that my guy is actually going to take 2 damage because he was blocked. Okay, so I put the 2. You can probably hear Disneyland's fireworks in the background. Sorry about that. Alright, so he put the 2 right here. That's the 2 damage. Now my turn is over. Now it goes over to the other person's turn. So this guy, player B, said, okay, we're going to go ahead and choose a court card. So we're going to do a court card. When you put a court card, it goes right away. This one says gain strength +1, which means now his strength is 4. Okay, so now he's going to go ahead and choose a attack card, and I'm going to block with an attack card. We flip them back. We flip them both over. I have a 5. Here's a 3. It doesn't match up, so which means his attack, his strike was successful. Now there's two things going to happen on this guy, because one, his attack was successful. He gets a fan. 2, he deals 3 damage to mine. So which means now mine's at no, that's a good 3. That's at 5. And then the last thing is also his effect. It says when a knight you control strikes, deal 1 damage to any opposing knight. So let's just say, okay, you know what? You got a 5 over there. I'm gonna go and deal 1 damage to that guy. So now he put damage on my guy over here in this last knight that I have in my stable, because that was the effect of Lance Bass. Okay. Now this goes back. This goes back. I'm gonna shuffle up some more again. Now this is discarded. I'm gonna put it to the side, and then we go to a new round. So I'm gonna do like 2 more rounds, and you gotta get the gist of it again. Okay. So on this round, you know what? This guy's taking a lot of damage. I'm going to move him out, and and I'm going to go ahead and put this one. So he's a 5. The strength of 5 is any of my cards I can play. And I'm going to go ahead and draw a court card. And this one says, when drawn, heal 1 damage from each of your knights. Sweet. So I already moved 1 off of my guy. There we go. So that's cool. And that plays that's already done in play. So I'll put that aside. And then I'm going to say, okay, we're going to go into my attack. And I'll choose this one. And he'll choose this one. And then we'll go. Got a 5 and a 3. He doesn't block mine. So my strike goes through. His effect says spin 1 fan instead of attacking normally. I don't have any fans yet. I just got one, so I'm not going to be able to use this effect. But I do apply 5 damage, because that's the number of my strike I did. Okay. So this is where the strategy comes into play, because I already know. Okay, let's say for example, he has 5. All I need to do is 2 more damage. Anything extra, anything more than that is wasted. You know, really, for the most part. But my opponent knows that my next attack, I might try to knock him out and do at least 2 damage. So he might know, okay, I want to play a 2 or higher. But then at the same time, I can say, you know, I'm thinking that he already knows what I'm going to play. So I might play a 1 in my next one. So that way it makes it to where kind of trick him out a little bit. You know, so it's things like that. Because even though I'm doing it randomly here, on a regular game, you actually are looking at all of your attack cards, and you choose which attack card you want to play, and then the other player chooses which attack card they want to play. So that's when the strategy comes. If you really want to make it a bit more randomized and stuff, or a quicker game, then don't look at the attack cards and just draw one at random and see what luck you get. As you saw in the first attack, I did that at random, and one of them actually did match. So it can happen. Alright, so carrying on. My attack is over. I dealt 5 to him. I got my fan. Now it goes to player B side. Player B is going to go ahead and draw a court card for Furious Attack. Actually, it's Furious Attack. Each time your attack is blocked, deal 1 damage to each knight controlled by the defender. Okay, so he's going to play his card. I'm going to shuffle these up, and I'm just going to play the cards on top. And shuffle these up. Play the cards on top. They flip it over. It's a 5 and a 2. Look at that 5 again. I'm keeping that 5. All right, so it is not blocked, which means this is not going to do anything because it wasn't blocked. But this one will do damage to any of my opposing knights as its ability. So we're going to throw 1 more damage on my Kali Bogo here. And then it deals 2 damage because that's how much his attack was to my knight right here. And he grabs himself a fan. Okay? One last little round. Actually, no. That pretty much is the gist of this game right here, of the basic game. Now, one of the cool things about this game is that, you know, in most games, if you play the same game over and over again, and over and over again, and over and over again, it gets kind of tedious, it gets kind of boring. You already know what to expect, right? Cool thing I like about this game is that they have, he included some optional gameplay. So for example here, I'm going to go and keep that there. We have these different, these three different things for gameplay variations. And this is just one of them. There's another one we'll go to as well. So the first one, this is called Lance Bass's Battle of the Bands. This one is a good one, recommended for 2 players. And then there's 2 already not promotion, but Lance Bass cards for this particular gameplay. And it plays a little bit different than the other one. The way you win is not really by gaining the 12 fans like the normal game, but you win by knocking out the opposing Lance Bass. And on this one, you do not get any additional, you do not draw any additional knights. So you start off with the knights that you have, which is a lance, and then you get 2 more knights. So you got those 3 knights, and you start off with those, and that's it. Okay. Everything else pretty much is the same. One of the differences is that the fan support, the fans you get, you can use those to actually deal damage directly to Lance Bass, to your opponent's Lance Bass. So it's pretty cool. So that's a 2-player variation. There's another one here that's recommended for 4 players. Or excuse me, let's skip that. There's one here recommended for 3 players. This one is called the Maiden Fairs Court Card Carousel. For this victory, you have to be the last maiden standing. Each player gets 1 scenario copy of the Maiden Fair, which is these right here. They're all 4 strength. No other knights will be used. And then it says the court cards. Remove entice them with pie, cosplay, and lady in waiting from the court card deck. So you make a little small change to the court card deck, and everything else is the same. Fans are not going to be used, so you put them back in the box. And the whole idea is, it says instead of drawing a court card as normally you do the following, you place the top card of the court card deck into a common area carousel. This carousel is shared by all players. Whenever a 5th court card is added to the carousel, immediately you discard the oldest one. And then activate each court card in the carousel, including cards that say when drawn. At the end of your turn, do not discard the court cards as normal. So it's a little bit different. The Maiden Fairs have 11 health, and the objective is to basically wear down your opponent's Maiden Fair and be the last one standing. So it's like a last man standing kind of thing. Okay, that's the 3-player one. And then you have the 4-player one. The 4-player variation is self-rescuing princess's rescue mission. On this one, in order to win, you have to collect the most fans. In this case, it says you do not deal or receive damage from opposing knights. Instead, when you strike, remove a damage token from any of the fans in combination. In any order equal to your strike value, you must remove as much damage as possible. So there's a little bit different variation. A couple of little different things are used. The court cards are not used in this one. Each player plays with their own copy of the self-rescuing princess. The fans will have 9 1-point, it says place 9 1-point fans in the center of the table. Of those 9 fans, put 2 damage tokens on each of the 3 on 3 fans, and 3 damage tokens on 4 on each 3, or something like that. So some of them have more, some of them have less, and the one that collects the most fans wins. So these are different. That's one different variation of it. So these are okay. These are cool because you have, if you got 2 players playing, you got 3 players, 4 players playing. Instead of playing a base game, you can go into these different variations of it. And then the other thing that they added on here were these one called Royal Decree, and there's 3 more of these. They each have their own type of victory. They all have their own setup. So like you have the last night, which means be the last night standing, and you have some different things with the setup with the fan support and the whole setup itself. You have Night of the Living Dead. Night being spelled K-N-I-G-H-T. That's cool, a little pun. In this case, the victory says gain 2 trophies by knocking out 2 opposing knights. And then the Royal Decree, a Knight's Tale, gain 2 trophies by knocking out 2 opposing knights. A little bit same as this one for the most part, but the fan support is what makes it different. So if you look at it, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different variations of this game in one box. So that is pretty cool, and for that, you know, I'm gonna give it a good a pretty good replay value. So that's this game. Let's go ahead and get into the ratings for it. Okay, into my ratings for it. All right. So gameplay. Gameplay. It is a pretty simple game to play. I played it one time at Comic-Con about a year, I think last year, right before they went to Kickstarter, and I kickstarted it right after it. I played it. Actually, I didn't kickstart it. I meant to kickstart it, but he gave me a copy of it. Anyway, it's good. So I played it again with my wife a few times. She likes it, so if she likes it, you know, it's obviously good, because I'm slowly wearing her down to liking more and more tabletop games. I think it's working. But anyway, gameplay, I'm going to give it about a, actually on this one, the gameplay, I'm going to give it a 5, because it is very simple, very easy to pick up and learn to play. You play through it one time, you're like, I got it, no problem. Fun factor, it is a fun game. As most games, it can get a little tedious, but with the variations of the different gameplay mechanics that you can play it as, that keeps the fun factor pretty high. So we're gonna do a 5 on the fun factor, because it's a fun game to play. It's really easy to play, and you get a lot of different gameplay opportunities to play it too. So it's pretty good. The theme has to be a 5. The reason why the theme on here, the graphics on here, the pictures and stuff, they are hilarious. A lot of them. Some of them remind me of the Fat Princess game on PlayStation, because there's this one card in here where it's this little princess looking girl, and she has, well, you got this one right here where she has like dragon eggs, which is kind of funny. But then you also have this one where it looks like she has like where's it at? Oh, it's not even, I don't see it. Oh, there's one of the cards in here where it kind of like she's eating like cake or something. I think it's actually one of the knights. So it looks pretty cool. But I think the pictures on here make this game make it look fun to, or make it fun to look at. They're pretty fun to look at. So I would say a 5 on the thing. Everything is really easily read, and the cool thing is there's not much text on it, so it doesn't make it like, you know, where you have to like squint down and stuff, and the text is pretty easy to read. Yeah, the text is pretty easy to read. There are some instances where the text might be a little bit off, but it's not really bad, so I would still say give it a 5 on the thing. Replay. So one game box, and this game box is really small. If you look at the game box, that's all it is. You have all your knights in there, all your scenarios over here, and then you have your court cards and fans and the trophies and stuff over here. So it's a pretty easy box, and you got a little bag of your damage tokens. So the replay, you got 7 different variations of this game to play in one box. For that, the replay is going to be a straight 5. I know I'm giving a lot of 5s on this one, but this game is pretty cool. I enjoyed this game a lot. The last one is the rules. Alright, so the rules. I actually did read through the rules a couple of times. There was a few things that I wasn't exactly sure of, so I had to read through it a few times to really get it. Like one of the things I had missed was with the blocking. I didn't catch that before, and I reread it again. I finally caught it. It took me a while on the health one. It has a little parenthesis 7. I figured that must be what the 7. That's what the health was. So there's a few things on here that I didn't get right away, and it caused me to have to kind of roll through it again a few times. But otherwise, the rules are pretty easy to understand once you read it a few times. I think I'm going to do a 4.5 on the rules. I mean, it is a lot of. It's not too many rules, but it did require me to kind of read a few times to really understand what I was reading on there and stuff. So for that, it's good. But that's the whole game. I'm going to put the link to I think they gave you a website, so I'll put a link to their site. I'm going to put a link to their other game called Code 3, which just finished on Kickstarter today, which is Sunday, the 13th, I think it is. Yeah, Sunday the 13th at like 12. So I'll put a link to the other Kickstarter so you guys can check it out. It's a cool little cop game that is actually backed by police officers, which is pretty cool. So that's the game. Joust for fun. I hope you guys enjoy it. I just definitely say pick it up. It's a cool game to play. It is good for up to 2 to 4 players, and I believe the age factor on this game is 13 years and up. Yeah, 13 and up can play this game. You can probably go a little bit younger if you really explain to them how to play. Oh, one more thing on here is that they do have a little cheat sheet, a little cheat card right here that gives you what to do each turn. It's your whole entire turn sequence, so it makes things a lot easier to do as well too. All right, the next game that we're going to do, I have no idea. We're going to see it. My good friend Kevin has a new game that he just got off of Kickstarter that got delivered, and he's been playing. So it's pretty cool, called Nemesis. So I'm going to check that out with him later on. We'll probably do a review on that maybe next week or so, or this week or next week, either before or after we go to Vegas. Conventions. So right now there's no conventions going on for the rest of the year that I'm going to. However, President's Day weekend, I will be over in Los Angeles for the Strategicon OrcCon 2020 convention. So look for us there. If you are in the LA area over by LAX, you should definitely try to get over there. I think it's like $65 for a 3-day, for like the whole weekend ticket. So that is not expensive at all. And it's a tabletop game convention, so all tabletop games. So what we're going to try to do, is really hard to do it. It's really hard to do it because their Wi-Fi there is horrible. But what we're going to try to do is do a live stream game review. I'm going to see what I can do. If I can't, it's okay. We'll do it later on. But I will be there doing some of my own games for No Limit Games. So until then, game with honor, game with passion. Enjoy what you guys do. Play hard. Play a lot. Get off your phones, get off electronic devices, and go play some board games because they are all pretty damn cool. Take care, you guys. This is Bushido Gamer. I'm out. Peace out, you guys.